5 books every millionaire entrepreneur reads. Did you know that the average millionaire reads about a book a month? That's about 12 books per year. But did you know that the average person only reads about 1 book per year? Actually, it's not even 1. So in other words, millionaires read about 12 times more than regular people. Well, I'm going to tell you the 5 best books that you can read to get you thinking like a millionaire. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
So before I get into my top 5 books, I'm going to give you so many notable books. I'm going to give you my top 5, but there were so many books that I've read. Like I said, at one point, I wanted to be a millionaire, so I was reading a book a week. I remember saying to myself, I want to read 1 book per week or 52 books a year. And I did that for 2 straight years, almost to the point where I loved reading and my Kindle is full of books. So when it was time for me to make this video, it was super fun because all I had to do was go back through my Kindle and start thinking about some of the books that have changed my life over the past few years. And there have been some notable books that I would be completely remiss if I didn't tell you about how awesome they were. I'm going to tell you about these books and then I'm going to give you the top 5. All right, let's get into it. So notable books that everybody has to read that are not in my top 5. Number 1, How to Influence People and Win Friends by Dale Carnegie. That's an absolutely amazing book that almost everyone needs to read. It's not in my top 5, but it's a great book. Another one, How to Be a Badass at Making Money by 𝗁𝐶𝗄𝗧. This book is amazing. I love listening to it on Audible. I've read the book and I listened to it on Audible. I think she's completely funny and she's right on point with everything that she says. It recently came out, so it's very up to date. It's not an older book. It's one that's awesome and very direct and to the point. Another book, absolutely love, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. I don't remember who the author of this book is, but this book, again, was absolutely life-changing. You really got to stop caring what other people think and really get into a place where you just do you. You just go on with your life and all of that outside noise just doesn't affect you. It's a great book. You should check it out. A couple more. You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor, an absolutely amazing book. F.U. Money by Dan Lok. All of Russell Brunson's books, Traffic Secrets, Expert Secrets, .com Secrets. I love all of Russell Brunson's books. I'm actually in his 𝗂 Club, very excited for that, and I've read all of his books. And then last but not least, all of John Maxwell's books, How Successful People Think, How to Become a Person of Influence. Those books were given to me by a millionaire mentor, and I absolutely love John Maxwell and all of his books. So let's get into the top 5 because these are the best of the best. Number 5, and everyone already knows this book. This is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you have not read this book, go get this book. It's absolutely free. This book is out of copyright. You do not have to pay for it. This book was written more than 100 years ago and the copyright has expired, so you can get this book for free. The writing is a little bit old in the style, but you can get the wording. It's not difficult. It's not like Shakespeare. Get the book, Think and Grow Rich. This book is a book every single millionaire that I know has read. I don't know a millionaire that hasn't read this book because it is awesome. Read it. Number 4, The 4-Hour Workweek. I actually mentioned it as one of my notables, but when I really started thinking about how much this book changed my mind and my life about how I should set up my business, it was life-changing. I know some people say it's not one of the best books. I think it was one of the best books ever written. Read the book. It's a little bit longer. He doesn't necessarily get into every little detail, but you know what he's talking about, and you can read other books to find out exactly how you automate some of the things that he's saying. He talks a lot about automating your emails, automating your shipping, automating things, automate your business so that you have your time. It's super important, and it's mind-blowing how he's done it. 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Number 3, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Again, another old book. It's a classic. You need to read this book. This talks about the science, which is really just thinking your mind, how you start to think differently, how you start to attract different people to you, and how you start acting and behaving on a different level. The Science of Getting Rich. Number 3. Number 2, and this is probably most people's number 1 book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I read this book like 20 years ago or whatever it first came out. And at first I got it, but I didn't get it. But it's funny, now that I'm rich and people see me as like Auntie No-No, I'm like people's rich aunt and I'm telling them things that they can do, how they do it, how to stop thinking like their own family. This book relates to me so much. In the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki is talking about his own father, which is his poor dad, who actually wasn't poor, but a professor and a government worker, versus his rich dad, who was his friend's dad that was a millionaire entrepreneur. He compares what his dad, who worked a job, very professional, had a college degree, what that guy told him, versus what his dad, who didn't work for others, owned millions of dollars in real estate and made millions of dollars a year. Those two dads taught him two very different lessons. Just like probably I'm your Auntie No-No telling you completely different things from your real auntie. I'm telling you the same thing. You can be rich, you can make money, and here's how you do it. But that started for me when I read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So read it too. And last but not least, the #1 book that changed my life, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. The Secret taught me about the law of attraction. And it was just the beginning for me. Of course, I've gone on, and many people find that it's very basic and it makes people think that they can just fall asleep and wake up and be a millionaire. But the book has some really core fundamentals that you can really start to build off. And the truth of the matter is, the law of attraction is real. And if you are someone that is living your life and things are not really going your way and you don't really believe in the law of attraction, you might want to get this book and really learn about it and start to implement the practices. It's life-changing. The Secret is one of the best books ever written and is still to date my favorite book. So I've written a book too, and I hope this will be your #1 favorite. It is Real Estate Millionaire Secrets. This book is coming out in about 30 days, and you can get it absolutely free at noellsfreebook.com. I created a book that I've poured my heart into over the past few months, teaching you all about how I became a real estate millionaire, how I make the money that I do, breaking down what I did, and giving it all to you in a book. I want to make sure you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.